Searching for that winning streak on 4 legs now, live from Belmont Park, New York. This is the $1 Million Breeders' Cup.
The New York skyline has seen many great events. Today, it witnesses the strongest transatlantic challenge in racing history. Channel 4 welcomes you to Breeders' Cup 7. Good evening, everyone. It's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at Belmont Park, and America's #1 racetrack has drawn more than 60,000 fans, not to mention over 50 nations linked up for worldwide TV to watch this richest of all race days. $10 million in total for the 7 races that make up this 7th running of the Breeders' Cup Championship. It has drawn the best from America, and once again has also brought a gallant band of top Europeans trying to overcome the disadvantages of away day running. Those horses include the Arc de Triomphe winner Saumarez, the star sprinter Dayjur, and Lester Piggott's ride Royal Academy. Down the years, 66 European participants have managed just 5 Breeders' Cup victories between them, 4 from France and just 1 from England. That was 5 years ago at Aqueduct, New York's other track, when Pebbles earned herself the title of Super Filly.
Greenton charging after teleprompter. Pebbles with racing room now, and a daring move by Pat Ettery, and Pebbles has taken the lead. It's Pebbles now in front. Strawberry Road coming after her from the outside. Strawberry Road and Pebbles, they're dueling to the finish. Pebbles is game and determined. Strawberry Road driving hard. They're running out of ground. England's Super Filly. Pebbles has won it.
What a victory that was for the Super Filly. Well, there are just 12 Europeans this year after distant relatives withdrawn injured this morning. That's 5 from France, 5 from England, and 2 from Ireland, including Royal Academy, whose rider Lester Piggott was walking the track earlier. Talking to him, he said that, well, it walked pretty good. It actually, after 7 inches of rain the last fortnight, would probably ride a bit softer. And indeed, Pat Ettery, who rode relief pitcher to win an earlier race this afternoon, confirmed it was on the softer side. Lester also made the point that while Belmont is the largest of all American tracks, it's 1.5 miles round on the dirt track, 1 mile 3 furlong on the turf. The winning post is actually in the centre of the straight, and there's less than 2 furlongs of actual run-in. And of course, Lester talked of Dayjur, on whom Willie Carson is going into the unknown, Europe's top sprinter, racing for the first time on dirt and round a turn, not to mention first quarter mile in 21 seconds, which he'll have to handle. I really don't know what to make of him, said Lester, but he said that if he was to handle it, you'd think he'd be too good for these. Well, we'll see. And we saw earlier, because when Willie Carson came out to join the others in the parade, we were all holding our breath.
So many opinions were on the line as regards Dayjur. All 11 previous European challengers for the sprint had been beaten, and on the course he was put in at 9-2, but he really closed down, and he opened up, finally closed down. The 2-1 clear favourite was Dayjur, although Corwin Bay was also a 2-1 chance. The actual outright favourite was Dayjur. They then went 9-2 last year's winner, Dancing Spree. It was then a 7-1 chance against Mr. Nickerson, coupled Speedy Senior and Carson City at 9-1. Last year's runner-up, Safely Kept, was a 12-1 chance. It was 20-1 against Litterman. All the others drifted, but could Dayjur do it? He was a 2-1 chance.
We'll level up.
A lot of people get in the traps here. This is Safely Kept. And Filly in the field, a massive, great mare she is. The handlers get in, stand in the stalls, and Dayjur went in yesterday to have the handlers standing around him. Safely Kept with Craig Perrett. Dancing Spree's in it again this year, of course. Corwin Bay going in, much fancy this one. They did Lahoussi on board. The white colours prospectors Gamble with Gary Stevens. That's Dancing Spree, last year's winner. Angel Cordero. Senor Speedy's in. Willie Carson still out the back on Dayjur. That's Carson City going in. Very fast. They're going to run 21 seconds the first quarter. That's Mr. Nickerson. Remember him from York. He's on his home ground this time. To go in there. Now it's Black Tie Affair. Willie's still to go. He's drawn 13, remember, on the outside. A good draw, really, because he won't get involved too soon. Hopefully 12. So Dayjur to come now. Walking up. Just looking at it a bit. A lot more noise, more people than he's had around him in Europe. He just, yesterday, was a bit reluctant the second time. This is his last race for going to stud. It would be the greatest achievement even of Dick Hearn's career if he could win here on the dirt. Europe's top sprinter is in. One more to load for the first Breeders' Cup race. The sprint. Here's Graham Good.
I'm at 6 horse. 6.
And Glitterman just about to be heaved into the stalls. This one is drawn even wider than Dayjur, and he's having the assistance of the stall handlers to get him in. Dayjur is very cool and calm and collected. He was not ponied down, but that's it. They're lined up for the Breeders' Cup sprint.
Get in here, Frank. No. Wait a second, Frank. Wait a second.
And they're away, and Dayjur just loses a length or so off, and he's racing very wide, and Willie Carson keeps him in a position wide, and it's safely kept, who takes a yard or so out of the field through the first furlong, but Dayjur has that electrifying burst to go into second place, and now Willie's got to negotiate him round these turns, and it's safely kept the leader from Dayjur showing second, wide on the outside. Glitterman, he's got a horse wide of him to help him round this bend, and Dayjur is positioned second, and the pace is very strong, and it's safely kept the leader by a neck. No more. Dayjur's on the outside. Glitterman is racing 3, and these 3 are 4 to 5 lengths clear of adjudicating and shaking it. And now it's Dayjur as they pass the halfway stage. They've got just over a quarter of a mile to go, but safely kept next to the rail. Still has it. Dayjur is one wide, and he's got no dirt in front of him. Back in third is Glitterman, and he's seen the rest off as they hurtle down the home straight. Dayjur on the left, safely kept from the start, and Dayjur asserts with a furlong to go. Dayjur just nosing ahead from safely kept. They're 6 to 8 clear of the third, and Dayjur has it. Dayjur has the measure of safely kept as they come inside the final furlong, and Willie Carson is coaxing it home. Now he asks him to stretch. There's more in the locker yet, and he jumps a shadow, and that costs him the race. Safely kept as the winner. Dayjur is second. Back in third was Black Tie Affair, and so drama for this, the Breeders' Cup sprint, when Dayjur, the favourite, dumped a shadow with only 50 yards of the race left to go. And of course he faltered in the final strides as well when he jumped the shadow in France, but the unofficial winner is safely kept, and oh, so unlucky was Dayjur, but so brilliant of Willie Carson to keep him going for second place, and of course keep his position in the home stretch.
This is the most sensational flat race I've ever seen. Dayjur robbed by a shadow at the line, and 2 horses down in the first half mile. Just watch this. Safely kept comes out and goes to the lead. Willie Carson misses it on Dayjur. He doesn't come out quite quick enough, but really drives up after and gets into a good position. Now look at the white horse, the Prospector's Gamble, because on the far side of him in the mauve colours is Chris Antley on Mr. Nickerson, and it's him who goes down first. Remember him from York, a great massive horse. Something gives in his hind quarters in a minute. There it goes down. Chris tries to hold him, and the whole thing seems to break up in a second. He's going at 40 miles an hour, and he just can't keep his balance. There he goes, all down. And right at the back, one from the back, hostess Santos on Shaker Knit goes in, and he goes catapulting down. Miraculously, Santos is all right, Antley's got a broken collarbone, and both horses have gone off in the horse ambulance. Meanwhile, up front, safely kept duel for the lead, but Dayjur had gone there. 6 furlongs is right at the end of his stamina, so Willie Carson's holding on to him. But the thing we all dreamed for looked now possible. It looked absolutely for his keeping. Willie Carson confident, just keeping his horse together, nothing behind running at all. They've gone incredibly fast here, something like 44 seconds for the half mile. Willie Carson just waiting for one final effort to the line, still hasn't gone for his whip. just pushing with the reins here. But here comes the shadows, bright shadows and dark shadows here. And when Woolly goes to give him a crack, the horse has got the other filly controlled. Here's Woolly beginning to punch now. He's got the race won, but a shadow comes up, and incredibly, at full gallop, at more than 40 miles an hour, Dayjur goes and does a complete hurdle race jump. Look at this. A complete jump, and he could even have won it after that if he hadn't been looking at the second shadow. He could have got back up, because he's looking at a second shadow, literally, and it's a true word, in the shadow of the post. I've never seen anything like it. Willie, you've had unlucky times around the world, but that must be one of the unluckiest of them all.
Yeah, well, I was dead with this fella, but I can't believe it. I was just going to go away and win a length. I just take, you know, I said, go on, I'm going. Because it was 6 rounds, I was being a bit careful.
Yeah, yeah.
He went to the front and he was going to win a length. And he went and jumped this bloody shadow. And that's what lost the race.
Yeah. So he had, in fact, looked a little bit, hadn't he? In France, he just looked ahead of him.
In France, but I blame that on he didn't have a race in France. He was very relaxed in France and he lost concentration. There was no reason to lose concentration today, because I just gave him a couple of backhanders just to set him about his business. And, well, the race was over.
Well, let's have a look at it, Willie. It's just we can see it again. There you are, Willie. You're in front as it comes up.
Right, we're going to start going away from the filly.
And did you have any indication that he was going to look?
Nope.
You've gone half a length up now. Now, up come the ears. Whoop.
Well, I think we better enter him at Cheltenham.
You sat on him well, Willie, you ought to ride him.
Yeah, I kept in motion too.
Yes.
He lost the advantage, didn't he?
Because it was very rough early on, but you actually did manage to handle the speed, which when we were talking earlier, you didn't think you necessarily would be able to go with them. But
I could have made a run.
so he didn't actually hit the brake that fast, did he? Actually out of the stall.
He's not as quick as those.
Yeah.
He's not as quick as those, but he's got class. That's what he has got, class. He's the best horse in the race, as you can see, but we don't get the first money.
Well,
the bank manager's going to be crying.
he hasn't had too bad a year. Bad luck.
Yes.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Sorry.
The ultimate shadow of defeat for Dayjur, and safely kept was runner-up at Gulfstream, so fortunately goes one better and beats Dayjur with third Black Tie Affair and pays $26.40 safely kept. That's 12.4 to 1. The places $8.20 and $5.60, and the show $5.80 and $4 for Dayjur. You get your money back if you back Dayjur each way. British bookmakers cannot deduct tax on that. $13.80 for the show on Black Tie Affair. The straight forecast was $101.40. The distance a neck and 4 lengths. And that shadow in the sun saved British bookmakers well over £1 million.
And so to the mile, a race we've never won, and with distant relatives scratched this morning, only mark of distinction flew the flag for Britain today. The French have won it 3 times the mile, with last time Queen in 86 and with Maestro in both 87 and 88. They had Priolo and Lady Winner this afternoon. And, of course, Ireland had Royal Academy, trained by Vincent O'Brien and ridden, isn't it extraordinary to say it again, and ridden by Lester Piggott. What a moment as he and the others went out onto the track.
Lester Piggott and Royal Academy leading the parade before the Breeders' Cup Mile. And the last time we saw Royal Academy, he was one of Dayjur's victims in the Ladbroke Sprint Cup at Haydock, well clear of the remainder and seemingly improving back at sprint distances. But of course he's got form at a mile, he'd shown that in the Irish Guineas, but he'd seemed a better sprinter. Followed out by Great Normand, one of the outsiders. Royal Academy, nicely on his toes, waiting to get on with it. They give him the great Yahoo going out here. There's Frankie Dettori on mark of distinction, drinking in the atmosphere of the Breeders' Cup. Mark of distinction, who's been in the States once already this season, over 9.5 furlongs when he was one of Steinland's victims. He's a better horse than that. This mile trip would suit him much better. The question was, would the rain soften ground be against his chance? And there's Steinland. Steinland, the winner of this event last year, and the mount of Jose Santos. Jose, a really tough character.
bouncing back from that fall in the sprint earlier on, and obviously none the worse for that. Well, it's a horrific accident, and Steinman with a big say in things, if back at his best, but he ran badly last time out, although in fairness that was on dirt. He's been successful in the past in an Arlington Million, and he's one of the best turf performers in the States.
And the amazing thing, Piggott Mania had struck Belmont Park. You will not believe this, but they sent Royal Academy, our favourite, to win the mile. He opened only 3-1. He was a much bigger price with British bookmakers this morning, and he wound up 14-5 favourite, Royal Academy. Who's to Pay was a solid 7-2 chance, with Priolo at 9-2 and Steinlen, last year's winner, into 9-2. Not a lot of confidence behind him. There was money for Mark of Distinction from 9-1 into 7-1 Mark of Distinction, and for the French filly Lady Winner from 13-1 into 12-1. Expensive Decision was a 16-1 chance, and they had Great Norman at the bottom there was 31-1. But whoever would have believed it, Lester Piggott, his second Breeders' Cup ride, was sent off favourite on Royal Academy.
Lester Piggott on Royal Academy will be the first to load, going into stall 1. That's along the rail. It's quite a long run to... It's a bit of a kink, but there's a long sweeping straight after that. Priolo will be loading next to him with Cat Adamson. You just see him there with the 2 on. 3 is Who's to Pay. Paul Mellon's American Colours, Who's to Pay. Jaladier with Pat Day goes in next to them. Then Mark of Distinction. Frankie Dettori's drawn 5. There's Frankie Dettori in. Lester Piggott already in 1. Lady Winner's drawn 7, with Kent Desormeaux with over 400 winners last year. Priolo already in. They're going round. It's Expensive Decision. 12, there's Great Normand. Great Normand. Steinlen goes in next to him. Steinlen, of course, winner of this race last year. And, of course, of the Arlington Million. Steinlen with his long, long tails, stretching right to the ground. That's Colway Rally, used to be trained by Bill Watts. And so, as they go up, last one up, is Go Dutch. Here's Graham.
And Royal Academy will be nearest to it and the front of the picture as they break out. And Leicester just misses the beat early on and settles that one last. Priolo last but 1. Up on the outside, Expensive Decision is one of the first to show as they come through the first furlong. And Shotgun Scott now assumes command from Expensive Decision. And at this stage, Royal Academy's only got 2 behind it. One of those is Who's to Pay. Priolo is last of all. But Shotgun Scott from the front by a length. 2 in second place, Expensive Decision. Then on the outside, racing third is Go Dutch. 4 is Steinlen, and Leicester at this stage is towards the rear. There he is, but poised on the outside of Who's to Pay, with Great Norman in behind them. They've got about 3/4 of a mile to go, and it's the track record holder, which is Expensive Decision, who takes command by a length, with in second place Shotgun Scott. Now Leicester's still got plenty of ground to make up, but is starting a charge on the outside of the pack. There he is in the white cap on Royal Academy. Mark of Distinction precedes him. Steinlen is running through on the rail, but Expensive Decision has it, with making ground on the outside Go Dutch. Then Shotgun Scott is next to the rails, and Royal Academy's improving to 6 on the home turn. Steinlen's just in front of him. Mark of Distinction isn't that far away, and as they start the turn in, and it's all Greek to me as the grey horse on the outside of Expensive Decision. Now they're coming down the stretch, and Mark of Distinction is opening up, and here comes Royal Academy with a great burst on the outside in the white cap, but they're inside the final furlong, and Leicester's making great strides on Royal Academy in the green jacket on the wide outside, and he's going for everything. He knows where the winning line in. He's driving into the post. It's a photo, but Leicester wins it. Would you absolutely credit it? Royal Academy has won the Breeders' Cup Mile, ridden by Lester Piggott, who brought this horse with a determined drive down the outside and has landed the Breeders' Cup Mile in the most sensational style. I just don't believe it. So Royal Academy Well, settled last, settled in behind them. He pulled it on the outside. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. If Frank Sinatra can make a comeback, I suppose we can forgive Lester Piggott for making a comeback. Well, well, well. Spare a thought for poor old John Reed sitting at home watching this horse, Royal Academy. Don't forget he stayed the trip when he was only just beaten by Tyrrell in the Irish 2000 Guineas. We perhaps had a blinkered view that he was just a 6 furlong runner, but boy, oh boy, he isn't. This man is unbelievable.
Well, it's the way he does it. Royal Academy is a wonderful horse, but really, this is a sight you'd never, ever believe. Lester Piggott at 54, nearly 55, driving forward, and as always, you know he's going to win. Somehow, you just know he's going to do it. It is simple, genius. I never thought I'd see it. Here he comes. Lester Piggott has won it again. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Priolo comes through tremendously with third, and Steinem was fourth, but really this is all about Lester. And the sensation as he comes back. It's a real buzz all around here. Look, that's one of the team, the O'Brien family. And the stone face will crack soon. I'll tell you it will. Yes, I tell you it would. Even by his standards, this is just about capped it all. Capped it all. Well done. 5 years ago he retired. 5 years ago he retired. Training solved success. And other problems caught him. A year in jail and out, and now back in the saddle. Lester, many congratulations. Even by your standards, it's a bit special.
Thanks a lot, you know.
Tell us, though, I mean, for you to come back after this time, did a race like this didn't it put more pressure on you? You must have felt this morning this is a bit of a day.
Not really, you know. I knew I needed a lot of luck today, and even to get here, you know. And I had it, you know, the big slice of luck.
Well, but you took your luck. You've always taken your luck down the years. But you know, you were in wonderful shape. I mean, there seems to be no problem. All the bits work so well done.
I had a good horse as well, you know,
yeah.
You know, and he really ran a terrific race, you know.
Let's look at the race, Lester, because he didn't actually break very well, did he?
No, he was a bit slow because on the inside there, and the man was holding him, and he was just a bit slow out, you know.
And you had a bit to do off the turn. Yeah. It's a short straight here.
And he ducked a bit there. He would have won a bit further otherwise, you know.
Well, you've got some way to go here.
Yeah.
But when you really drive, Lester, I mean, it's 20 years since Nijinsky. Is it still all there for you? Here we are.
Oh, yeah, you know, you never forget, you know.
Well, I don't know how much you've forgotten, but there's not enough of the others here. That must be a sweet moment for you, Lester.
Oh, terrific, yeah.
And a lovely horse.
Yeah, and a great ride, you know.
Well, the one thing I have to ask you, it's 20 years since Nijinsky, so I've only 100 years since you started riding. How much longer? How much longer?
Nobody knows that.
Well, we'll hope there be many more Breeders' Cups. Thank
you very much. You know. Thanks a lot.
Ireland's first Breeders' Cup from Vincent O'Brien's first runner and Lester Piggott's second ride. Royal Academy beats It's All Greek to Me with Priolo third and pays $7.60. $7.60 Royal Academy. That's 14-5 favourite Royal Academy. The place $5.60 and $18.20. The show $4.20, $9.20 and $4.80. And the forecast, look at that, $470.60. And you have to ask, what price now those classic thoroughbred shares?
it really is an absolutely unbelievable afternoon. It's going on to evening here at Belmont. But there's plenty more to come, don't forget. How Curthies and the three Frenchmen got on in the Turf Classic. High Time Gentleman Willie Carson got on in the Juvenile. And, of course, live here on 4, the richest race of all, the $3 million Classic. We've got Ibn Bay and Richard Quinn going for that, and Go and Go and Michael Cannan going for Ireland. And the way it's going, anything is possible on 4. Stay with us.
There's a Round Tetley tea towel that's yours absolutely free with special packs of Round Tetley tea bags.
Sydney, dry up.
Darling, if we register for a prospectus for the 12 regional electricity company share offers, we could qualify for money off our bills.
Bills? What bills?
To register for a prospectus, ring 0272 272 272. You could buy into what you plug into.
Well, baby, I'm thinking about your chocolate. Well, baby, I'm thinking about your taste. Well, baby, I'm thinking about your chocolate. Thinking about your taste.
I'm here, and the plan is good.
Hello, the design is here.
Hello, I'll be there in the hour. Thanks, bye.
Since we've been talking about the language of business, more and more people have been using mobiles, faxes, modems on the British Telecom network to improve business. If you're still out there, help is at hand. Just phone 0800 800 848 for your free business catalogue.
Hello, we've just had some great news from Allied. Their autumn sale is bigger than ever. There's hard-wearing Berber carpet, half price at £4.99 a square yard. Lovely ready-made curtains for just £11.99 a pair. This double bed is £179, less than half price. And you can save £600 on this traditional three-piece suite. The Allied autumn sale. At last, it's good news for everyone.
I wouldn't do that if I were you, Rupert.
If the wind changes, you'll stay like it.
I think you should make a nice cup of tea.
It seems that everyone in the world has plenty of advice to give. The question is, which is the right advice?
Oh, no, please, it's only something in my eye.
Try pulling your eyelid down as far as it'll go.
And then blowing your nose. At the Halifax, we've probably given more advice on mortgages than any other lender. With all that experience, we believe we can give you the best advice on your mortgage.
Try pulling your eyelid down as far as it'll go.
Then blowing your nose. The Halifax. Special offers currently available for first-time buyers and those seeking a larger loan.
The shadows, those famous shadows lengthening here at Belmont. We're going to show you how Curthies and the Frenchman got on in the turf later on. But now you're with us live for the richest race of the year. $3 million on the line. A mile and a quarter distance. The Breeders' Cup Classic. Ibn Bay and Go and Go go for Europe. Here's Graham Good with the runners and riders.
And there are 13 of them. Number 1 is Home at Last, written by Jerry Bailey. 1A, Unbridled, Pat Day. Number 2 is Vetsia, Randy Ramiro. Number 3, Ibn Bay, Richard Quinn. This horse blinkered today, and Richard riding in a blue jacket. Number 4 is 36 Red, Mike Smith. 5, Opening Verse, Chris McCarran, bidding for a hat-trick in the race. Number 6, Flying Continental, Corey Black. Number 7, the favourite Rhythm, Craig Perrott in a black jacket. Number 8, Bo Genius, Ricardo Lopez. And for Ireland, number 9, Go and Go, Michael Kinane. Number 10, Lively One, Alex Solis. Number 11, Dispersal, now ridden by Eddie De La Houssaye. Number 12, Mi Selecto, Jose Santos. And number 13, De Roche, ridden by Angel Cordero Jr. And they're just parading for this, the Breeders' Cup Classic.
And there's Richard Quinn on new colours on Ibn Bay. You won't recognise these because he has been sold. He's got blinkers on, as you know. He's a horse who's won over 1.75 miles. He's back to 1.25 miles. I remember when he ran in Japan last year, Japan Cup of a mile and a half with blinkers on. He went very freely, and he really led for a long, long time, and it appeared not to last home. Maybe they're remembering that. Ibn Bay will be going out of stall 2. Richard, who's had such a wonderful run, just won the Dewhurst. And there is Go and Go with Michael Cannan on board. Go and Go, who has won on the dirt here at Belmont. He's won the Belmont Stakes of a mile and a half here to get all the trip. He came back on the dirt in the Travers and had rather an unlucky run. But at his best, he has a major chance. He's tipped in some of the papers. He's got blinkers on too. And as you probably know the story with him, he was going to run on the turf at Laurel Park last year, and the ground was so wet that they were moved onto the dirt course, and he appeared to take that brilliantly, and clearly handles dirt actually better than he handles the grass. Jockey's being ponied down, the American style. Michael Cannan is going European style by himself, but in America most of them are, as you see, ponied down. The jockey just stands in the iron, and the pony girl, these wonderful cow ponies, were really tough. If a horse whacks at them, it has a bite. And there's Rhythm, Craig Perrett, that black colours with a red cap, looks a bit like Jim Joel's colours, doesn't it? Rhythm, who won the juvenile last year, and bids to become the first horse to go from one discipline to another. He won the juvenile last year, and here he is in the Classic over a mile and a quarter. Rhythm, who we saw out on the track earlier, he was third last time out in the Woodward behind Dispersal, who is a chance ride for Eddie Delahousie after that terrible accident to Chris Antley in the sprint. Incidentally, the news we've got is that the awful fall in the sprint to Mr. Nicholson was caused by him having a heart attack, and he was dead when they got to him. And the other horse who fell there was still down and may well have a pelvic injury. He's not been able to get up. So we can but hope that he'll be cured. The horse is hacking back through here. This is a busy time for the punters. John.
And just to give you very good news as well, Pat Eddery won an earlier race on Relief Picture for Peter Walwyn. It was a European 1-2-3, not a Breeders' Cup race, where Relief Picture paid almost 4-1. Now, the betting here is surprisingly that Rhythm is favourite, who won the juvenile at Gulfstream Park last year, and is now 5-2 favourite. Rhythm, it did open at 2-1, and they've really opposed Dispersal, who was the morning line favourite. That's now out to 9-1, 8-1 now on the board, Dispersal, because of the bad draw. The English horse Ibn Bay is a 36-1 chance now. 36-1 Ibn Bay, that's how it opened, while Ireland's Go and Go is out to 6-1 Go and Go. That's the price against him. He did open at 5-1. It's then 6-1 Flying Continental. That's well fancied for the Americans. The ex-English horse opening versus a 22-1 chance, and his Vestia, drawn in stall 1, the grey, that's a solid 5-1 chance against his Vestia. De Roche at the bottom, that's a 19-1 chance because of the draw. Once again is against that. But the factor is that Rhythm is favourite. Very popular horse, Rhythm, with the American public. But there's good money for Go and Go, Flying Continental, and his Vestia at around 5 and 6-1. If you're on Ibn Bay and no one here thinks he's got a chance, well, that's a 36-1 chance now against Ibn Bay.
Was fourth in the Belmont Stakes without Lasix like today. The Belmont winner was the Irish invader Go and Go, but he was then 7th in the Travers, and a win today would be an even bigger upset. While the American Triple Crown Series went to 3 different horses, north of the border, one horse was brilliant in sweeping the Canadian Triple Crown. His Vestia won by a combined 26 lengths. Then, in the Molson Million, he beat some good U.S. 3-year-olds easily, scoring by 3.5 lengths in that mile-and-a-quarter test. Rhythm was champion 2-year-old in 1989 after his win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but he's mostly been a disappointment at 3. At least he was until this race, the Travers, the Midsummer Derby at Saratoga. Instead of laying close to the pace, jockey Craig Perrette took Rhythm back to last place, then brought him charging wide down the stretch to beat Shotgun Scott by 3.5. Dispersal is working on a 5-race winning streak, though he missed 10 days of training after suffering an injury in Belmont's Woodward Handicap. But Dispersal looked like a champion in that race, leading from flag fall to finish over Quiet American and Rhythm. Dispersal has speed to spare, but has never raced past 1 1/8 and comes from post 12 today. Another horse coming off an impressive score at Belmont is Flying Continental, a California-bred stretch-running colt who will benefit from a quick early pace. His Belmont tune-up came at the same 1 1/4 distance in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He's a fresh horse. He had a long summer rest, and he looked it here. DeRoche and his Vestia are in the beaten field as Flying Continental gets up by a neck. But pick a winner in the Classic, it might have been easier to agree on a budget bill.
That was Tom Allen of NBC with their very stylish way of flipping through the field. Looking there, the start's over to the right. It's well worth looking at that because you see that they're on the turn straight away, even though there's a very good long run stretch down the back stretch. They're on the turn early on, and therefore Dispersal out in 12 is difficult. See, Rhythm is at 5-2, Bo Genius a big outsider. Go and go 6-1. They remember what he did here in the Belmont. Lively won 19-1. Dispersal's a surprise, 8-1. Definitely walking in the market. Tom's touts. Lovely, these heads. Lots of them go for Rhythm, you understand. And DeRoche, 1 or 2 of DeRoche, with Angel Cordero on. That's Michael Cannan getting in, nearly all ready. Let's go and join Graham.
So, my selector in the light blue jacket, Jose Santos rides. Remarkable, he's had a double here this afternoon, having had the most sensational catapulting fall. But this 3 million Breeders' Cup Classic has really brought the crowd to their feet here. And that's the parade of honour as DeRoche goes in. Just one more to be loaded. That's Unbridled. He's drawn wide on Pat Day. But he's in, that's it, they're lined up, $3 million on the line here. And look for an early run by Ibn Bay in a light blue jacket. The trip's 1 1/4, they're lined up. And a little bit of problem in the stalls there with Opening Verse. One of the hot handlers quickly in and looking after him, but that's it, they break away. And through the first furlong, it's 36 Red who takes the early call. And it's 36 Red who leads, with his Vetstia running up on the inside. Ibn Bay holds a position that's third. Then just in behind these races, Bo Genius. And on the outside is Home at Last, with Dispersal making a good ground from that bad draw. And they're taking no prisoners here. And it's 36 Red leading from Bo Genius in second place. 36 Red from Bo Genius, with Ibn Bay and Dispersal, who's racing wide at the back. Then comes Home at Last. A length and a half to Go and Go, and behind Go and Go is Opening Verse, and behind that one is Me Selecto, and there's there must be 15 lengths between first and last. Last is Lively One, who isn't living up to his name, but in the pink jacket, 36 Red. On the outside in the blue colours is Bo Genius. There's Ibn Bay, is just a length or so off the pace, with on the outside of him Home at Last. Go and Go's in the black and white colours with a red cap in about 8th place as they go down towards the halfway stage in this $3 million race. And it's 36 Red leading, with Bo Genius in second place. Then up on the outside racing third is Dispersal. Ibn Bay putting in a great run. His closing, he's got a good run through on the inside there. Then just in behind these comes Home at Last, is in 5, with up on the outside Opening Verse showing 6. Rhythm the favourite with a lot to do. Go and Go's in front of him, but they start the spin off the home turn, and it's going to be 36 Red who leads. Ibn Bay just can't hold his position. Rhythm in the black jacket is making great ground on the outside. Ibn Bay's number 3 is in the drive there as they make the turn in. It's 36 Red who's made all the running. Ibn Bay really hard ridden in second place, but he's in line for home now. But it's a very short straight. It's 36 Red from Ibn Bay in second second, then back in third, trying to make ground is one of the big outsiders, De Roche, the favourite's got a lot to do. And here comes Ibn Bay with a great run, pressing hard on the outside of 36 Red, with coming in between horses and making great ground. Unbridled, and Unbridled comes through to snatch the classic. Unbridled takes it. Ibn Bay, a big race, finishes second. A photo third. 36 Red and Lively one, who passed 8 to 9 horses in the home stretch. Behind that one was De Roche, and behind De Roche is Vetsia, and behind his Vetsia came opening verse, and Go and Go, in fact, fought out to be last of all. And so the outcome of this Breeders' Cup Classic, it's gone to number 1A, posted in the race card. Unbridled in the colours of Francis A. Genter, trained by Carl A. Naskler, ridden by Pat Day. He got the most tremendous split in this very, very short straight here at Belmont Park. They talk about it as being the biggest American track. Well, there is Ibn Bay going for home and Richard Quinn, but on the yellow cap on the inside comes Pat Day with Unbridled. And Richard Quinn gave this horse a terrific ride, Ibn Bay, coming back in distance, but he's behind the leaders, and this is Unbridled coming through here. What a brave horse he is to go through the challenge. 36 Red in the pink jacket has made all the running, but it's really now a tired horse. Unbridled is the fresh one. He comes through with a tremendous drive and gets there, accelerating away on this dirt track. But what a great race for Ibn Bay and Paul Cole. All credit to him and the Richard Quinn team of Paul Cole really flying, but that's our winner. That's Unbridled.
So close, so close. Really fantastic run by Ibn Bay. A horse most of us thought was a 1 3/4 horse. Back to a 1 1/4 here. He's very nearly won the Classic. It's been an extraordinary afternoon. There's more to come.
To keep going as long as Duracell, how many times would you expect to replace ordinary SP batteries? Twice? 3 times. In this continuous test, Duracell outlasts ordinary SP batteries by up to 6 times. So why settle for anything less? Duracell. No ordinary battery looks like it or lasts like it.
It's always worth taking time for that smooth, delicious Kenco flavor. Because more than 60 years of Kenco's coffee-making experience have now gone into perfecting their freeze-dried coffee.
Hello, this is the Pottery.
So, take your time over Kenco coffee. We have.
He must have picked it up at Smith's.
If you're thinking about private health care, remember this. Bupa has done nothing else for over 40 years. Ring 0800 010 383 now.
fabulous scenes here beside me as Pat Day goes into the winner's enclosure after that brilliant finishing run on Unbridled. Pat, who's ridden more than 300 winners this season, and that takes his winnings to more than $11 million this year. Pat, who is only 7 stone, he's in the shoemaker mode, a really small guy, but he can make them run. He really can. He's wonderfully cool. Well, I told you, we've had all sorts of excitements. Let's see how they bet in the turf.
French Glory were coupled in the betting. They opened 9-5. They went off 9-5 favourites. If you backed in the wings or French Glory, they're both 9-5 chances. It was then a 5-1 Cacoethes, who opened 6, closed into 5-1 Cacoethes. With approval from Canada was a 6-1 chance solid. But the disappointment in the betting was Saumarez, the arc winner, who opened 7-2 and closed in. I say disappointed in the betting. Did close into 5-2. Saumarez, the arc winner, the second favourite. Pleasant Tap was a 10-1 chance. El Senor the Grey went off at 13-1, 14-1 Colchis Island and 20-1 Al Wahush. But that's how the betting went. The arc winner not favourite against In the Wings and French Glory, and this is how the race turned out.
So just Colchis Island and Al Wahush to line up for this Breeders' Cup turf. The distance is 1.5 miles. In the wings at 9-5. Saumarez 5-2. That's it. They break away the trip 1.5 miles. And through the first furlong on the inside on the blue colours, Pleasant Tap is the first to show. But Cacoethes is now in the hoop jacket of Ray Cochrane wears. He takes command. Ears prick, goes on by a length. Saumarez, the arc winner, shows in second place with Pleasant Tap next to the rails in third. Racing wide of these is Sky Classic, and a length behind that one up on the outside races Al Wahush. The back marker at this stage is El Senor. They've got under a circuit of the course to race, and Cacoethes showing the best of the way home. Leads by a length to up on the inside racing Saumarez in second, but pulling through Sky Classic now showing second. Saumarez is third. Al Wahush on the outside of French Glory, race 4 and 5, and then behind these Pleasant Tap and With Approval, and the back marker is El Senor, and at this stage In the Wings is last but one. But they're just bunching as they make their way down the back straight, and Ray Cochrane playing cat and mouse on Cacoethes, leads by half a length. That's Saumarez in the check jacket. The blue colours are Al Wahush. Up on the outside, Colchis Island in the white and green makes ground. Pat Hiddery in the white sleeve jacket. These are followed by Shy Tom with Approval up on the outside of them. And now it's Colchis Island that goes on. But Cacoethes is trying to go with him and succeeding in so doing. He's lengthening his stride as Cacoethes. He's pulled too clear of the third place horse Sky Classic, but it's Colchis Island on the outside from Cacoethes racing second. Then Saumarez, the arc winner, now back in third. Within the Wings making a good run. Sky Classic is wide with French Glory behind it, and they've got just under half a mile left to go in the Breeders' Cup turf. And it's Cacoethes who's made most of the running so far, and he's gone on into the lead again. But up on the outside, the one that's made good ground in the blue and white is With Approval. Showing third is Colchis Island. Then behind these French Glory, Pat Hiddery looking for a great run through on the inside. He's trying to emulate Pebbles, but they've got 3 furlongs left to go. And it's Cacoethes with Approval on the outside. Craig Perry starts the drive. In the Wings makes ground, and French Glory can't hold his position. The blue jacket is Al Wahush, but they're in line for home now, and it's With Approval, the grey going on by a length. Cacoethes next to the rails is held. Here on the wide outside comes In the Wings in the white sleeve jacket. Saumarez trying to fly, and also coming with a big run from the back is El Senor, but next to the rails is With Approval. But here comes In the Wings pressing hard, and it's In the Wings who comes to take With Approval. With Approval fights back, but In the Wings has the answers, and at the line In the Wings wins it. With Approval is second, El Senor third, Al Wahush 4. Saumarez could finish only 5, but in front of Colchis Island. Then came French Glory, and behind French Glory came Pleasant Tap, and last of all was Cacoethes, who faded rapidly in the straight. The result then of this Breeders' Cup turf, it's gone to number 1 In the Wings in the colours of Sheikh Mohammed. This one trained in France by Andre Fabre and ridden by Gary Stevens, posted as the unofficial winner, but he's won the Breeders' Cup turf.
An amazing Breeders' Cup for Europe. In the Wings wins it. Second with approval. Third is El Senor. And In the Wings, coupled with French Glory, is $5.80. Pays $5.80. That's 19 to 10 favourite is In the Wings. But it is coupled with French Glory. For the places, $3.40 and $5.40. And the show, $2.40, $3.80 and $5.80. That's the show prices. And the straight forecast, $39.20. And for Gary Stevens, one of the top American jockeys, an amazing win. He's now had 22 rides in the Breeders' Cup, and at last he gets aboard a winner. His first winner in 22 rides. But In the Wings coupled there, the surprising favourites, the horses that many people thought wouldn't be favourites, have done really well here today in the Breeders' Cup.
Well, evening's coming here. The geese are flying. Willie Carson, who had that desperate bad luck on Dayjur, had another shot on Time Gentleman in the juvenile. There were 12 runners in that. It was over a mile and 16th. It was, of course, $1 million at the line. And Willie Carson, Time Gentleman, had quite a shot.
Lined up for the juvenile. And they break away. And Time Gentleman, wearing the red cap, Willie Carson, is lying mid-division as they sort themselves out through the first furlong. And the early leader is Fire and Ice. It's in the white blinkers, and that takes the early call by 3 parts of the length. To Take Me Out, who's running through into second place. These are linked ahead of Best Day, and the favourite, Fly So Free, is in the pale jacket, showing fourth at this stage. And Willie Carson's wide of the field on the outside of the red cap, wide of Wildly Special in the yellow colours. And Time Gentleman's just making a bit of ground as they continue their journey down the far side of the track, down towards the halfway stage. And it's Fire and Ice leading, but the pace doesn't seem to be that strong by a neck no more. Take Me Out's on the inside. Fly So Free's in third. Then behind these, Happy Jazz Band, and Time Gentleman is in the red cap on the outside line, fifth as they make the turn out of the back straight. But Willie Carson's already at work. But there's a gap then to the next horse, which is Lost Mountain. But as they start the charge and the turn into the home straight, it's the favourite Fly So Free in the pale jacket on the outside. Time Gentleman's close up, only 2 lengths off the pace. Next to the rails, Take Me Out in the green colours. White and green is Fire and Ice starting to drop back. The Best Pal in the yellow sleeve jacket tries to make ground. And Willie's going to go for a split there. And he all but gets it, but it's still Take Me Out that's running through next to the rails. That one goes on from Fly So Free in second. Then back in third place now is Best Pal with the Happy Jazz Band behind that. Time Gentleman might get fourth at best, but they're inside the final furlong now. And it's the favourite, Fly So Free in the pale jacket. Running through next to the rails is Take Me Out, and it's Fly So Free who has the answers here. Time Gentleman staying on very well, might get a place, but at the line, Fly So Free is the winner. Take Me Out is second, in a blanket photo for third. It was Lost Mountain who just got there ahead of Happy Jazz Band, and then came Time Gentleman. A creditable race on ground so alien to him, and a great ride by Willie Carson. The horse just didn't have the pace on the turn-in to hold that good position, but I doubt if it'd beaten the winner anyway, which was the favourite, number 4, Fly So Free, ridden by Jose Santos.
It's okay.
3 wins from Take Me Out in second place, and Lost Mountain is third. Fly So Free pays $4.80. That's 7 to 5 favourite. Places $3.60 and $17.40. The show $3.20, $12.60 and $9. Straight forecast $84.80.
Richard Quinn had a dodgy time after the Classic because he went the wrong way to weigh in. He wandered all over the shop, and he just got back here about 4 or 5 minutes ago. And he is a bit upset, but he's also celebrating a fantastic year. And I talked to him and asked him, after he won the Dewhurst, I'd said, well, you were having an amazing year, and if he'd won this, it would have been even greater. It would be even more extraordinary.
Yeah, it would have been if he'd won.
But we thought he was a 1 3/4 horse. When do you think he could be quick enough for this?
Well, you say that. I mean, he's won most of his races over 1.5 miles. Last year when he put the blinkers on Japan Cup, he led the Merry Dance, and, you know, they broke the world record over 1.25 miles, never mind 1.5 miles.
Today's race, though, it was quite tough early on, wasn't it?
Well, they broke, and, you know, here the horses jump into the strides quickly. But, I mean, I always had a nice position just behind him. I got a nice split off the bend, and, you know, he's running a great race.
And then a real drive up the straight.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that horse as it turned out, the winner was there, but I just couldn't do nothing to stay in front of him.
But Richard, for you, riding in a race, this must have been an extraordinary moment.
Well, I mean, it is, you know, the biggest race in the world, really, at the moment. And to almost win it, I mean, it's great.
Well, it's been a great year. Lots more to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy days for Richard Quinn, but one dreadful thing happened here. The top filly, Go for Wand, in a tremendous duel to the line, broke her leg and had to be destroyed right by the finishing post. A terrible scene in the distaff. It's been an extraordinary, astonishing, shocking, and also quite wonderful afternoon. It's been indeed the most extraordinary afternoon's racing any of us have ever seen. Goodbye. Lester Piggott lives again.
Scott, Leicester's still got plenty of ground to make up, but is starting a charge on the outside of the pack. There he is with the white cap on Royal Academy. Marked the distinction, 3 seats in. Stein and the road. And Leicester's making great strides on Royal Academy in the green jacket on the wide outside, but he's going for everything. He knows where the winning line is. He's driving into the post. It's a photo, but Leicester wins it. Would you? Absolutely.
Run. But he's probably handicapped on his beating of the committee, who he beat quite easily, and the committee came out and was